My name is Susan and I have developed a technique for eradicating ADD, ADHD and dyslexia. If you think of the ability to learn as like water in a stream, if you put a big rock in the way, then it'll go around the rock, but it'll take a little longer to get there. Put another rock, it'll go around that again, and it'll take even longer to get downstream. And if you get sufficient number of rocks, the water might just evaporate and dissipate into the soil and never come downstream. Having a learning difficulty, it's got absolutely nothing to do with your IQ. It's just a functional block of how your brain works. The smarter you are, the better you compensate around it, and the better you can disguise it. But, the more disconnections you have, the harder that is to do. With Crossinology, we're removing the rocks and we're making sure that the information's directed efficiently and everything's flowing down the stream easily, and you're not stressed or getting left behind in the classroom because they've moved on to something else. In '87, as I describe it, fell into personal growth classes. One weekend we had to work out what really was important to us in life. I wrote down that my purpose in life was to affect the consciousness of the planet. And the only way you can do that is by changing yourself, because you can't change anybody else. So I changed myself so that everyone who came in contact with me would have their consciousness shifted in some way. And practically, I was going to do some sort of alternative health. And within 3 months, I was in Arizona studying a type of kinesiology that had the model that you could go in and make a permanent change. And I started experimenting with things, and I started working with kids and adults and working out a new system of how to get into every part of the brain that's involved with learning, really. So I start with, the process of helping others and their families, and then I discovered that I have a dyslexia problem that was never diagnosed. So I end up helping myself. It's also, and I think it happens to the kids too, it's a validation of who you really are. That you've tried really hard, but you haven't been able to get there. And it's got nothing to do with the lack of trying, right? Which is you're constantly being told, if you try hard, you'll get there. That's not true if you have a learning problem. I use muscle testing to find out what's going on in the brain, and that allows me to use the muscle to go back and find out where the processing blocks are and to clear them. When someone comes in, I do a brief 15, 20-minute assessment, see what they're capable of doing physically and with their brain, making sure the vestibular, the balance system is working as it should, making sure the coordination is working as it should. And then I start going through about 80 steps altogether that I need to check to make sure that information's flowing easily in, the two sides of the brain are talking to each other. The technique's been designed to give you full access to every part of your brain. But basically, you can eradicate ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia in about 8 to 10 hours, and it's a permanent change, and they don't have it anymore. And I haven't found anyone that we couldn't help. I like seeing people shine, I like seeing them do well, I love seeing the expressions on their faces, how happy they are. Having children come in and say, I just got 10 out of 10 for the first time in my life in a spelling test, and seeing the change in them and how good they feel about themselves. And that's why I developed this work, to give them the opportunity to reach their potential. Nothing makes me happier than that.
But on the third day after the argument, Herman began to...
It's my life's purpose. I have no doubt that this is what I was born to do.